What is metaphysics? It begins with a question older than civilization, older than language, perhaps as old as consciousness itself. What is this? What is real? What am I? Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that seeks to explore the fundamental nature of reality. It is not about what we see, but about what lies beneath the seeing. Not about the facts, but about the frameworks. It doesn't deal in observations alone, but in the meaning of those observations. Metaphysics asks the deepest questions we are capable of imagining. What is existence? What does it mean to be? Is there such a thing as an ultimate reality? Do time and space exist independently, or are they constructs of the mind? What is the nature of the self? Is consciousness fundamental or emergent? What is nothingness? These are not questions with straightforward answers, and that's the point. Metaphysics is not a science in the empirical sense. It does not test hypotheses in labs or rely on measurable data. Instead, it ventures into the spaces where science cannot go, the space before the question is even formed, the place from which all inquiry begins. The word metaphysics comes from the Greek words meta, meaning beyond, and physica, meaning physical or natural. So, metaphysics is literally beyond the physical. But it's not just about mystical abstraction. It's about the underlying principles that give rise to reality itself. In ancient times, Aristotle's works were compiled into categories, and the texts following his physics were titled Metaphysics. They dealt with things beyond the natural sciences, questions of being, cause, identity, time, and substance. But metaphysics is not limited to Greek thought. It runs like a river through the philosophies of India, China, Persia, and many indigenous cultures around the world. From Advaita Vedanta's notion of non-dual consciousness to Taoism's fluid, formless flow of the Tao, metaphysics is the search for what lies beneath appearances. It asks, is reality material or immaterial? Is the world made of atoms or ideas? Is there a divine order or just chaos? And perhaps most haunting of all, why is there something rather than nothing? In our daily lives, we don't usually ask these questions. We're consumed by the immediate, the bills, the deadlines, the noise. But beneath the rush of ordinary life, there is a quiet space, a space where these questions live and wait. To enter the realm of metaphysics is to sit in that space and listen. Metaphysics doesn't promise comfort. It promises depth. It pulls at the roots of your beliefs and asks, what if you've misunderstood everything? It invites you to look beyond appearances, beyond names and forms, beyond labels and roles. To ask not what things are called, but what they are. Not what you do, but who or what you are. Is the self an illusion? Is it a stream of thoughts, a bundle of memories, a narrative you've inherited? Or is there something unchanging behind it all? What is time? Is it linear, as clocks suggest? Or is it cyclical, as many ancient cultures believed? Or perhaps time is an illusion altogether, a construct of consciousness trying to sequence experience? And what about space? Is it truly empty, or is it full of potential, full of presence? The modern scientific worldview tends to shy away from metaphysical speculation, favoring measurable phenomena. But even science cannot escape metaphysics. When a physicist asks what space-time is, or what the origin of the universe is, they are stepping into metaphysical terrain. In fact, every worldview, whether religious, scientific, materialistic, or spiritual, is built on metaphysical assumptions. We all operate from some vision of what we think reality is, whether we know it or not. Metaphysics strips us of our assumptions. It holds up a mirror, not to what we believe, but to the fact that we believe at all. It shows us that our perceptions are shaped not only by our senses, but by the ideas we carry deep within. To engage with metaphysics is to walk willingly into mystery, to be okay with not knowing, to sit with paradox, to embrace contradiction not as error, but as a reflection of the vast complexity of existence. Why do metaphysics matter? Because we live the answers to these questions every day, even when we're not aware of them. Our understanding of what is real affects how we live, how we love, how we die. It shapes our politics, our religions, our art, our identity. If you believe the universe is mechanical and indifferent, you may live one way. If you believe the universe is conscious and interconnected, you may live another. Metaphysics doesn't tell you what to believe. It shows you what your beliefs are built upon. And in that awareness, something profound begins to shift. You begin to question not just the world, but the lens through which you see the world. You realize that transformation is not only about changing what's out there, but shifting what's in here. Metaphysics invites humility. It reminds us that the more we learn, the more we realize we do not know, and that not knowing is not a failure, but a sacred space. This is why mystics and philosophers, though they seem to walk different paths, often meet at the same threshold: silence, the point where words fall short, where the mind bows to the mystery it cannot grasp. Metaphysics is not a puzzle to solve, but a field to dwell in, a meditation on being, a reflection on what it means to exist at all. It is not something to master, it is something to surrender to, like standing before the ocean, not to measure it, but to feel its vastness. So, what is metaphysics? It is the art of asking better questions, of peeling away illusions, of becoming intimate with reality, not as we think it is, but as it reveals itself to the quiet, courageous mind. And perhaps, at the heart of it all, metaphysics is not just about what exists, it is about how we are touched by existence itself. If this exploration stirred something in you, an openness, a curiosity, a longing for deeper truths, then you're already on the path. Metaphysics Diary is a space for such seekers. For those who find meaning in mystery, who feel called to reflect, and who dare to look beneath the surface of things. Subscribe to Metaphysics Diary for more calm, reflective journeys into philosophy, psychology, and spiritual insight. Share this video with someone who questions deeply, and in the comments, tell us, what question has always lived quietly within you? Sometimes, the most powerful transformation begins not with an answer, but with the courage to ask.